All right, Shalom. It's your brother Yuwanathon. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Kadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to say Shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right, may the blessing of election be upon your house. Today, we're going to talk about, the something the Bible prophesies about. The Bible talks about a time that's coming where your mobility within society is going to be limited unless you bend the knee to the powers that be. Okay. And the powers that be before the Lord returns are going to be of a particular nation. Okay. You go to 2nd Ezra 6:9. It lets you know that let me just go get it. 2nd Ezra 6:9. I'll put it up on the screen. Okay. Let's get it. Okay. So we go to 2nd Ezra 6:9, and I'll put it up on the screen for you guys here. Okay. It says, "For Esau is the end of the world." And we know it's not talking about the literal end of the world because the scriptures says that the earth abideth forever. Okay. And I'll go get that as well. Let me just pull that up really quick. I'll just actually read it to you guys. We're going to stay here. All right. That's, you'll find that in Ecclesiastes 1:4. It says, one generation passeth away and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So here in 2nd Ezra 6:9, it's not talking about the literal end of the world. The word here for world in the Greek is aeon, meaning an age of rulership. Okay. So the word world is used in many different facets as you go through the scriptures, which is why you have to understand, the root words, the original meaning of particular words. Okay. How the Old Testament was written in the Hebrew and the New in the Greek. Okay, so here in 2nd Ezra 6:9, it's talking about an age of rulership. Now, when it says the end of this age, and the Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, this Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth is the kingdom of heaven. Now, the age that Jacob is going to be ruling, all right, that's an everlasting age. That's an everlasting kingdom. Okay, so just before the kingdom of heaven is established upon the earth, we know that the Edomites would be ruling. Okay, so this time that's prophesied to come, and we'll go to 2nd Ezra. Let's get it 13. Let me see here. No. Bear with me really quick, guys. Pull this up. Get my sword here. Second Ezra 15. All right. And we'll just start at the top and we'll jump down from there. Okay, when we go to 2nd Ezra 15. Here at the top, it says, "What? Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy." And that's a telltale to identify who the Lord's men are. Okay, when you start trying to identify who these characters, because we just read 2nd Ezra 6:9, well, who's Esau? How will I know if this person is these people are Esau or not? There's particular character traits that the Lord gives you throughout the scriptures. Okay, Shalom, brother, on the comment board. This is Yahweh Kanan, and he puts up Isaiah 63:1. It says, "Who is it that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra?" Now, when Yahweh Shai, this is a visual aid of Yahweh Shai, as you know, when this judgment takes place. Basra is another word for Edom. This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, because he's not going to meet them as a man when he comes back. He's going to meet them as a great angelic force. Traveling in the greatness of his strength, I that speak in righteousness mighty to save. Okay, so the Lord has a quarrel with a specific people. if we're truly believing the word and we're truly expecting this deliverance from our enemies, we got to be able to identify these characters, which the Christian church never did. The only people who are actually identifying the characters are the Israelites. All right, those who are prophesying of the kingdom to come. Going on to verse 2, it says, "Wherefore thou art there red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat," because there's going to be a high death toll upon the Lord's return. He's gonna be doing a lot of killing. So he's not coming back to hand out candy and roses. A lot of death is going to be taking place. All right. You go to Numbers 35 and 33. The Lord tells you how justice for our people is going to be had, because our blood has been shed all over the earth under our oppressors. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him who shed it. So the Lord's going to be doing a lot of blood shedding. All right. To bring forth justice. And we're not. You notice I said the Lord is going to do it, because they'll take snippets from all the different brothers like this, like we're the ones doing. No, we're waiting upon the Lord. He's going to be the one to render justice. Vengeance is mine, thus saith the Lord. Okay. And verse 3 here, it says, "I have trodden down, so like I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I would tread them in mine anger, and trample them in my fury, and their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart." Because remember, to him, this just recently happened. A day with the Lord is as 1,000 years. So to the Lord, to Yahushua, when he comes back, it's gonna be like this is fresh. That's why the scriptures say, and every eye shall see him, and those who pierced him, those same spirits are gonna be back here today, and they're gonna, we're gonna see them, partake in this justice that the Lord is going to be rendering out. All right. "For the day of thy vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come." All right. So now let's go back here to Second Ezra, the 15th chapter, and we'll start at the top. "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, and a way to identify the Lord's men, his prophets." They're going to be occupied in prophecy nonstop. They're going to be drilling it. They're going to be drilling it. Okay. And we know that because the spirit of Yahushua, they're going to come into his spirit. And the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy, right? This is Revelation 19 and 10. It says, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not." This is what the angel was saying back to him. "I am thy fellow servant and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua." Worship Yahweh. For the testimony of Yahushua, and this is the point, the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So this is a way to discern who the actual men are. They're going to be occupied in the prophecies, and they're going to be able to line it up throughout the volume of the book. You see? Now let's go back to Second Ezra, the 15th chapter. Yeah. "Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true." Now let's jump down. This verse 10 here. It says, "Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt." And we know America, Babylon the Great, is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8. "But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before." So we know this isn't talking about ancient Egypt, because it says as before. "And will destroy the land thereof." This place is going to be completely decimated. Not a soul is going to be dwelling here, man. Just the birds, and foul beasts. So we know the very fashion in which this place is going to be destroyed as well. All right. We've been given the spoilers to the movie. All right. Verse 12, "Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting of and hail, and with fearful constellation. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein." So a horrible time is prophesied to come, pursuant to Daniel 12 and 1, Matthew 24 and 21. Okay. "And a man shall desire," oh, Salakim, jump down a little bit. This is verse 15 that we're getting into the point. It says, "For the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." Why are these conditions playing out on the earth? Because there's going to be a lack of food. Okay. because the governments are going to be pushing some hard draconian measures that are going to cause people to be in survival mode. All right, verse 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another. So infighting in these different countries, major fighting between their militaries. But even on the local playing field, man, there's going to be little communities that are like, man, we don't have any food. People are going to be banding together. They're going to be like, this community has food, and they're going to be invading one another, man. It's going to be a real life purge out here. The scriptures are saying this. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So, the modern day sword, the gun. 2 years ago, man, in South Carolina, when I was doing deliveries, I was dropping off hundreds of cases of bullets. We had all these bullets that we was delivering to just regular old people's houses, and it was like, why do these people need all? And it was Edomites. Why do they need all these cases of bullets? 16. For there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. People are going to be like, to hell with the government, because they're going to realize that these governments, these politicians, they're all bought and paid for by the elites, and they don't have their best interests at heart. So people are going to, they're going to be out to survive on their own. Okay, they're going to be willing to do whatever to survive. It's going to be a different time, and of course, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city, martial law, checkpoints, not being able to go and come as you please. And if you live in a city like Pittsburgh, where to get to each part of town, you got to cross a bridge, it's going to be hard to navigate. All right. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Okay, we always give this illustration, man. You go, hey Joe, you got a can of beans? Yeah, man, I got an extra can. After a little while, Joe's not going to be able to lend you any cans. And that party's going to be like, you know what? I've known this guy, he's been my neighbor a long time, but I'm going to have to kick his door in. My children have to eat. That's going to be the reality people are struggling with, man. And it's going to be playing out. And it's going to be a common thing that plays out. Okay? Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, there's a couple clips I want to show you guys. I might not show you one of the clips because it might get my page taken down. Ain't that something? But let me see here. There's a clip in China, because China is supposed to be the WHO, Carl Schwab. They said China's supposed to be the model for this new industrial, this new industrial revolution, and they've been going through lockdown since the plan started. Their reality is not all the way, not even close, really, but it's you can see it's leaning towards what we're reading about. Okay, so let's go look at that. Let me pull it up here. Let's go watch this little 30-second clip. This is a man in China, and you'll see the clip. It'll have the caption on it. All right, so no further ado, here we go. Rewind that back.
哎，你们能不能不要这么暴力？就说句话的时间就不行吗？
They want to take them to a quarantine location, or a FEMA camp, so to speak, and that's going to be happening over here, man. And they could just run up on it, identify, oh, this brother stays here. He didn't even have to be in contact with somebody who has whatever disease they release. they could just use that as justification to hem brothers up. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. These things are going to play out, man. So this is what your world leaders. This is the place that's saying that this is the new model for this new revolution that they're trying to push forth. Where are we headed? Well, we know where we're headed. But this is our grace period to build up the spirit to endure these things that are getting ready to play out. All right, let me should I play this other clip? Wow. I'm gonna put the other clip on Odyssey. I'm not gonna play this up. All right, but so yeah, I'm not gonna play that clip. I'm gonna leave that alone on here. Ain't that something? But I will put it on the Odyssey page. Can't even speak freely here, man, and we know where we're headed, man. Let's go read Amos 8, and we'll start at verse 10, but we'll read it in the NLT. Okay, so let's go there. We'll read this and that'll be it. All right, so this is Amos 8 and 10. It says, I will turn your celebrations into times of mourning and your singing into weeping. Now, most people they're in that spirit of mirth still to this day. Even after, a lot of people calmed down when the first lockdowns were going on. They started to inquire, they started to think a little bit. But they went right back into hedonism. They went right back into that mindset of escapism when the lockdowns were uplifted. So even in this time right now, man, they're in the spirit of mirth, and they're not considering the things that are taking place around them, and that's going to be their downfall, man. All right, I will turn your celebrations into times of mourning and your singing into weeping. You will wear funeral clothes and shave your head to show your sorrow, as if your only son had died. And when having to sing the death of an only child, man, that's a different level of pain. That's a different level of sorrow. Okay, how very bitter that day will be. The time is surely coming, says the sovereign Lord, when I will send a famine on the land. Not a famine of bread or of water, although those things are going to be happening as well, but of hearing the words of the Lord. So, brothers, that you don't get a lot of views on your videos, man, don't even worry about it. And you got to remember that YouTube, they hold back a lot of the numbers. They hold back. They shadow ban our videos. But it's going to come a time, man, when people are going to be looking for it. And then it's going to come a time after that where he's going to completely shut down the hearing of the words of the Lord. You're not going to be able to have access to these videos. You're not going to be able to get up and look up a brother and find information and see, what does that prophecy say? What's the name again? All that. You're not going to be able to have that. So people are going to truly be looking in every way they can. Oh, I remember, there's a brother in this town, or maybe he's over there. Maybe we could run across him. People are going to be. They're going to be searching for the benefit of the Lord, man. That's when we're going to be made as fine as gold. We're going to be demonized first, but it's going to get to a point where people realize that these people that are in charge are full of shit and that they're the devil that the Bible speaks of. And then they're going to turn and look for them in the Lord. But it's going to be too late by that point. Okay? Verse 11. The time is surely coming, says the sovereign Lord, when I will send a famine on the land, not a famine of bread or water, but of hearing the words of the Lord. People will stagger from sea to sea and wander from border to border, searching for the word of the Lord, but they will not find it. Beautiful girls and strong young men will grow faint in that day, thirsting for the Lord's word. Yeah, you got the women who they just all into themselves, and the only thing they could think about is obtaining a particular lifestyle here on this side. Ain't gonna be none of that in the days to come. You got the dudes who only think about women and getting money and trying to achieve things here on this side. It's not going to be anything to achieve on here on this side. Even if you do bend the knee, it's not going to be nothing worth having. Okay. Carl Schwab, he already told you, which he's a henchman of the elites, that their plan, their goal is for you to own nothing and be happy. How can you have a luxurious lifestyle when you own nothing? All right. And even these celebrities now, man, they have, particular things, but they don't really own none of the shit they have anyway. But it's going to be a heightened version of that. Verse 14. And those who swear by the shameful idols of Samaria, who take oaths in the name of the God of Dan, and who make vows in the name of the God of Beersheba, they will all fall down, never to rise again. Man, people who trust in science, people who trust in these idols, people who lean on other things for salvation besides Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, man, they're going to be in dire straits. Okay, but those who fear the Lord, although we're going to be saved by the skin of our teeth, the scriptures say that his servants are going to eat. All right, that we're going to drink, that we're going to be able to navigate through this perilous time, and that ultimately we're going to be taken out of the way of the destruction. There's only one way to live forever. Okay. So just a quick lesson for you guys, man. Before we go to Tuesday night camp here, we'll be, Lord willing, we get there on time and we get started up. It'll be at 7 p.m. here, I believe, Central Time. And, if you're able to tune in. So with that being said, I once more want to give all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone. And I want to say shalom to all the brothers and, of course, the few sisters who are pursuing this truth in sincerity. All right. May the blessing of election be upon your house. Shalom.